With his son taken care of, Rob was on his way for a run. Rob enjoyed a morning jog. Recently he hadn't been out as often. This was mainly due to Benjamin and the responsibility of having a baby. Rob wouldn't change a thing, but he did miss jogging regularly. The run was going surprisingly well. After 5 kilometers, Rob hadn't felt like slowing down. However, a new wave of nausea hit him and almost caused him to fall down. Rob was dejected. He thought his mysterious illness had passed. Instead, he was feeling the worst cause of nausea since it began. After stopping for a few minutes, Rob decided to turn back for the cabin. He started jogging back, but after another 3 kilometers, Rob again was hit with another wave of nausea. Once it passed, he again started jogging, determined to finish his run. Before he arrived back at the cabin, he had to stop once more. Somehow the exercise seemed to double the amount of nausea. As he walked in the door of the cabin, Rob was again feeling pretty good. The nausea had passed and everything was back to normal. Michelle was up and preparing breakfast when she turned around and jumped back when seeing a much younger version of her husband. "What the hell happened to you?" Michelle almost screamed at the sight of Rob. It was obvious the person in front of her was her husband, but there were some drastic changes. Rob looked dejected and started to explain his bouts of nausea, but Michelle cut him off. "No. Go look in the mirror, you're not the same." Rob was not completely sure he understood his wife's hysterics. He went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. He almost fell over when he saw his reflection. It was him, but back when he was 18. The slender athletic frame and full dark head of hair was an instant reminder of his youth. Rob sat down on the toilet and began to think, trying to reason how this could be happening. It must have something to do with the DNA, but how? It was never designed for the output needed to do something like this, if it was even possible. Finally it dawned on him. They were running an overload test on the system when the accident, knocking the equipment over. That explained part of the problem and why he would be regressing in age, but certainly didn't give him an immediate answer how to reverse the process. Finally he walked out of the bathroom and over to Michelle, where he sat down at the table. "It must have been an accident at work that caused me become younger." Michelle stood there stunned, still trying to understand what was happening. "Are you going to die or get sicker?" Michelle queried. "No, I'm not going to die or get sick. In fact, I'm very healthy right now. I doubt I can get much younger than another year, maybe 2. Rob went on to explain what had happened at the lab the other day and how the changes were happening. Once Michelle understood that it wasn't permanent, that she would get her husband back within a few weeks, her actually started to get excited. "I guess it's not really illegal then if I sleep with a minor tonight," as she bent down to kiss her husband, then went back to finish breakfast while Rob had a shower. He still couldn't believe what was happening, but there was nothing he could do. Even calling Teddy or Jamie, his lab assistants, were out of the question because he left his cell phone at home. Not that either of them could do anything for him right now. All Rob could do was wait for the regression to stop before trying a couple of ideas he had to reverse the process. Rob busied himself for the day working on odd jobs around the cabin. He still suffered from the inevitable waves of nausea, however they were never as intense. However, he still seemed to get younger slowly. By Monday, Rob had not stopped getting younger as he had promised. Now he looked more the part of someone who was 12 years old. His voice had begun to crack, getting higher, and the hair on his chest had begun to recede. The well-shaped muscles had all but disappeared on Saturday, and Sunday he watched the last vestiges of adulthood disappear. As the week progressed, Rob was adjusting to his new temporary life. Michelle had all but taken over the family and was now telling Rob what to do and when to go to bed. Rob never complained as he realized his new place in the family, and besides, deep down he always wanted to be dominated by his wife. She was an type personality, someone who wanted to be in charge, whereas Rob was more willing to follow.